resources, limited time, and limited budgets, a few brave souls forge forward and don't ask for permission to make their stories come to life. Welcome to the Adventures in Backyard Filmmaking podcast. Here is your host, Jamie Francis.
Hi guys, welcome to the podcast. I'm going to keep this intro as short as I can because sometimes some things happen in life and in filmmaking where it just changes sort of the way you think and the way you kind of see things. I just did a incredible interview with two incredible men. They make movies because they just have to make them. One of them is from New York, Manhattan, I believe, and his name is Alan Hofmanis. And imagine this, picking up everything you have, selling everything, and moving to a poverty-stricken country to make action movies, or joining a studio, an action film studio, and that make movies in the $100 to $200 range. And that's where he lives now. And that man is Alan Hofmanis. And he has joined Ramon Film Productions, along with the founder of Ramon Film Productions, a man named Isaac Nabwana. When you talk about self-taught filmmakers, this is kind of the pinnacle. You couldn't get more self-taught than this guy. He literally built his own computers. He had to learn editing, After Effects, with no one even remotely knowing anything about this stuff. This is pre-internet as well. He basically just figured it out completely on his own. It's an inspiring story, and I just reached out to Alan, and he graciously agreed to be interviewed. So we had a quick interview with him and Isaac, and it's just a great little interview on just how tough it is to make art in Uganda and the limitations that they have, but they just keep going forward. And it's one of those things where everything becomes so small in your own world. And he's creating this. It's not even, I even mentioned it in the interview, it's not even part of a movement. He's not a part of a movement. He's creating a movement. Him and Alan are just creating this studio where you wouldn't even think possible. And it's happening. And it's happening right now. And recently did a Kickstarter that ended in April at that. They were asking for $160. Like, that's crazy. And Isaac believes that they could make a movie for $160. I mean, he's proven this over and over again. He's made over 40 to 50 feature-length movies for well below that. But anyway, their Kickstarter earned them over $13,000 of their $160 goal, which is over 8,000% more than their goal. It's got to be some kind of record. I don't know if Kickstarter even keeps that kind of record percentage of over their goal, but that money is really going to help. They're going to make some great movies, and they do it their way. There's this very specific Ugandan style that they're creating this, and it's just inspiring. I'm rambling way too much because you don't want to hear me. You want to hear them. I really want to thank the couple reviews I've got on iTunes. I know it's just a couple, but I appreciate anybody who listens to this. Extra special notes to the people who left reviews. Scott McMahon, I love your review. It's great. You can check out his stuff at filmtrooper.com. He's been on the podcast. He actually was the episode 2, I believe, of this podcast. And a great review from SC Entertainment's Calgary, BC legend Blaze Kolodchuk, indie filmmaker. He makes pretty much a feature every year. He makes music. He's just the most creative guy. And I've followed him for years. I've not met him, but I feel like I know him. And I followed him for almost 10 plus years now, and I'm just amazed by his output and his creativity. Nothing falters him. He just keeps doing it. He's got an Indiegogo campaign going on right now, but you can check out his stuff at SC, that's S as in snake, C as in cardboard, entertainment.ca as in Canada. So check that out. He left a review for this podcast, and I really appreciate it. And here's my interview with Ramon Film Productions, Allan and Isaac. I really hope you enjoy this. I mean, after hearing this interview, there'll be absolutely no excuse to go and make a movie. So go out there and do it. Thanks a lot. No, I was super inspired by your videos, and you guys have been kind of blowing up in the last few months, I guess, here, and yeah, just super inspiring. I just wanted to I'm super honored to have you on this little podcast of mine. I just want to start with Allan here. So you watched a clip from the Alex movie, and you in 2 weeks, but by 2 weeks you were living in Uganda.
Okay, that was first trip. Yeah, I think it's been 7 trips over 3.5 years.
Oh, that's crazy.
To this point. But, yeah, I mean, the short story is I was with a friend in a bar in New York City in the Lower East Side, East Village, and you know, he showed me the trailer for Who Killed Captain Alex on YouTube, and at that point, it already had about 2 million views. It was viral like 2 years before I saw it, but that was it. I mean, I tell you, it was even before the trailer was over, and it's 90 seconds, that I knew I was coming. That's
just awesome. That's awesome.
It's crazy, but also, you know, my background is in film. I mean, I spent, I don't know, I was like 12 years in production, and then about that much. I was a festival director for a number of years, and then I worked in programming and a little distribution for independent theaters. So my background is all film. So like when I saw Alex, you know, it's funny, it's crazy and all that, but there was clearly so much more there to me. Yeah. Just a simple, or like, you know, there's no money involved. Yet like in the West, like, you know, like in America, if you have no money, you shoot 2 people having a conversation.
Exactly.
You shoot a family reunion in your parents' house upstate. You don't make a war film,
no.
You know? And you don't do it strong. You don't do it for real, like with no irony and, you know.
Yeah.
So this was a machine. I knew this was something big, you know.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it at the time, but then you know, when you meet Isaac, you realize at that point he had made about 30 films before Alex.
Yeah.
And that in retrospect makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, it was clearly like something, you know, in command of what they're doing.
Yeah, I know. It's just there's something about the story. I'm late to the game. I have to admit, I just saw this Vice clip, and maybe 2 days ago, and I just consumed as much as I could of what Ramon Films do, and it's just
it's addictive.
It is addictive. So Isaac, I really like. You're an inspiration to not just your people and your country. I think anybody even just trying to get into film in any way can be inspired by your story. And I almost broke up hearing the story of your brothers going to these films and reciting play-by-play sort of things, and that just captured my imagination. Just how you can take that, and I could just imagine your brothers like doing these awesome little action flicks, and like in your mind, you're picturing what this movie's about, and that's even more inspiring than just kind of watching a movie. That connection with family and stuff. It's just amazing. So you've done numerous films, 40 plus by this point, maybe 50 yet. You know, and you started in your 30s, I believe, or something like that. I read, which is just great, and you have a family and stuff. But you just went out there and made you're trying to tell your stories. Just tell me how you started. Like what? I mean, I know it kind of goes back to your brothers and stuff, but what made you think, hey, I'm just going to do it? Like nobody had done it before, really, in your area. So you're a pioneer. So how did you start just doing it? Did you just pick up a camera and just started shooting? Like, how did that?
Yes, it is amazing anyway, somehow, because I thought that I can make a film after, when I was in secondary school. One day I was in a street talk sort of program. By that time we were discussing affirmative action, and I saw the guys from the TV. They had tapes, big tapes, and were making it. So they filmed us, and in the evening I saw that program on the TV. But I was watching them doing that. So I did not see any difference between a movie and what they were shooting and what I saw on the TV, because I saw them, the clips, they are changing, something like that. So also that also inspired me, and I thought that it is possible to make a movie, and I was also asking why aren't these guys making a movie? So when time came when I was ready for making a movie, I thought it was going to be easy for me, though it was not very easy for me. It was not easy for me at that point anyway, because I didn't have a camera. I had to borrow it from a friend, and the good thing is that we had the martial arts. My brother was good. Is even up now is good. He had a school of martial arts nearby here. So we started like every evening. I call because I had started an audio studio. I called them in the evening. I tell them, because I had that the punching and what. I call them in the evening without a camera, and I try. In fact, it was me always they are kicking, because they were not good kickers. I just wanted them to kick, and I tell them kick hard, something like that.
Yeah.
So then later on, every weekend I borrow a camera, and then I give it to someone to film it, something like that. So as it's like that, and I show them. Have you seen? You are not kicking well, something like that. Though. On weekends, then some weekends when I started, organizing a movie, that never came out anyway. It was called My Stages, but it never came out because I didn't know how to write a script by that time. It's just I could go with those guys at the gym of at the school of my brother. We go on weekends on the shores of Lake Victoria there, and we start saying that you be the tough guys, and then this like that. We just do that every weekend. But at the end, when it came to editing, I found out that I could not edit that. I could not edit because I was editing the clips, but they were not connecting. And that was a problem for me. So then I said, well, how can I write a script? I was in the middle of thinking of that. How can I write a script? Or how can I make a story, connecting? I got a chance of a friend of mine, who was a musician at that studio I started, informed someone who had a play and wanted to make it a movie out of that play. So he connected with that guy who was in Luwelo, but his home residence is Lyantonde. So he told me that he had a story, but he wanted it to be a film. I said this is a very good opportunity because he had written it. So I went to Lyantonde for 4 days. I stayed there, and I started, I studied his script. It was a play, and we made it into a film. I filmed it, and it was not a good time because he was not loved by the citizen there, because it was Muslim and Muslim were against that script because it was on stage, and they were against that script. But I managed to film it, and it came out. For 6 days, I edited it. I was editing from morning. I was so interested in editing it because I wanted it to come out and to see if I can make a movie.
So you shot it in 4 days,
yeah,
and you edited it in 6
days. In 6 days. I was editing from morning up to midnight. So always. And he came from Lyantonde when he stayed in my room, all that we used to edit it. So when I edited it, I gave it to him. Because it was just free. I did not charge him. And he took it back to Lyantonde, and I tell you it was a blockbuster there. Everyone liked that movie. Because Muslims were against it. And when they saw the movie, they liked it then. And everywhere in the bars and where it was piloted all over the place. And they wanted to see me, the guys on that area, because I had done a trick where I sold them the ghost they had dreamed of, from their ancestors were saying that there's a ghost there. When I heard that, I just added that in the script. It was not in the script. I told the owner of the script that let us add this in this, because I knew how to use chroma key, something like that. So I chroma keyed someone who they never knew. So when they saw that lady, she was brown, and they said, this is the ghost, this is the ghost. So this man is camera supposed to be, because here we have that camera trick. Everyone, if you do something like it's visual effect, they call it camera trick here. So they said, and my camera had that trick. so they wanted to see me. So that is how I started, that's how I learned how to write a script. Because at first I didn't know how to write a script. Then I started writing, and I also worked with that guy. He's called Isaac Nabwana. We worked together for like three projects, like Byabuka and Ejini Kuchalo and Omugenyi Mulamu. Then we continued.
It's okay.
Yeah, this is separate. So I continued. It's like that. That's how I started, getting the idea of writing and shooting. I got it from a guy, called Sengendo. He also helped me a little bit about shooting. But that I taught myself a lot of things. And I also remember the day when my brother realized that I can make a movie. He called one of the VJs in town. One of the best VJs by that time was called Evichu. I know he's in America nowadays. He acted in Last King of Scotland. So when that guy came to me, because he was a friend of my brother, he came to me. And there was a movie called, I think, Solo. Is it Solo? Something like that. I've forgotten the name, but it might be Solo. So I was, because I was thinking of visual effects, I picked the fire in that movie, and I cut that fire in the movie, and I could put it on a building and to see that it's burning, but it's not doing well. So what I did, I knew chroma, and then I drew it there. There's a building there where I painted green, and then I made a fire, I made fire on that green, and then I filmed that, and then I took it and I chroma keyed it, and then I got that fire, and then I put it on the building. So that guy, when he phoned me with that thing, he said, you are doing something great here. How did you discover this? Then also that guy really is called Ronnie Evechu. He gave me courage, He said that this is amazing. And in fact, he's the guy who talked of After Effects. I didn't know of After Effects by that time. I knew of Adobe Premiere Pro 1.5. So we mentioned After Effects, and then I had to look for After Effects, and I was not getting it. It was not anywhere to be seen here. Until my brother also had a friend who was studying film in Holland. When he was in holiday, when I mentioned the After Effects, he told me that he had a friend who knew After Effects, who was studying filming. So he approached him and he said, I have After Effects. And he gave us After Effects, that is After Effects CS3. And I started studying it. I tell you, it was not easy for me to study After Effects because no one knew it.
Yeah, so were you learning from YouTube?
No.
So when you say with the chroma and the fire, you're learning this yourself?
Yeah. In fact, I used the help button of the programs, of the software. Always I use that. But nowadays, if you use that, you have to be connected on internet. By the old versions, you can use the help button to assist you, learn, because it is like a book.
So at that time, you didn't have internet?
No, I did not have internet. But in fact, I'd never heard of internet by that time. I did not know internet.
That's incredible. Just like learning. I could debate like nowadays. These kids kind of learning stuff online. They could just pop on YouTube and pretty much learn whatever they can, and
itself, Premiere, like just basic subtitles and things. But I'm using, I rely on YouTube.
Yeah,
I rely on tutorials.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that's how I learned doing After Effects when I just started noodling around. But yeah, it's just, I mean, just your stories are just incredible. I mean, let's talk about
that computer he built.
Yeah, I know, just hand built. Like, that's probably another thing that a lot of people don't get. You couldn't go to somebody and like, how do you do this?
No.
You're just kind of discovering this on your own. So it's just let's talk a little about your Kickstarter. I don't know how I missed this, but it ended fairly like a couple of weeks ago. Is that true? And
Yeah, I think in April. Yeah,
in April. And
yeah.
you were asking for $160,
Yes.
and it ended up just a little bit above that.
Yeah, I think it's, what was it, like 5,000% above.
Yeah, well, I was looking at 8,000, over 8,000%. That's got to be some kind of record. On I actually haven't looked that up, but that's incredible. And,
oh yeah, Kickstarter loved us that week.
oh, that was that was crazy. And I mean, I can just assume that that money could go a lot further. Like, I mean, $160 to make a feature-length action flick, like you were saying, not just two people talking in a diner. I mean, yeah. How did that affect you as a group? And like, were you, I mean,
with the money?
Yeah, like, was it party time? I mean, that's it's just incredible. Like, did it, like, what has that done for you guys?
Well, I tell you, it's twofold. And like for one, for practical sense, like, we have a friend coming from Canada. He's coming from Toronto next week, and he's bringing this suitcase full of gear. You know, so because, you know, we have no backups for anything. There's no like Captain Alex right now is not backed up. You know, the versions without VJ, like without there's only one version of all this because we don't have the hard drives. So he's bringing a suitcase full of it. I don't know, like 18 terabytes, something. I don't know. So we can actually start doing that. And then we spent, I don't know, maybe like, I want to say like $1,800 already online just on explosions. and like, for real. Like, we can now, because I think for the first time we could start working in 720p for real.
Yeah.
But then the challenge with that is everything has to be upgraded. You know, all the effects. So yeah, that was a party, I think, with Isaac and I, just like, buy this one, buy this one.
Yeah.
This blood, this car explosion, and then we went into town, and we spent I guess a couple $100 just on toys, on children's toys, like cars and vans, buses, to blow up. And then we spent more, I think, on those few toys than the entire budget for Alex.
Yeah. No, I was reading something about you're trying to find some toys. This is like totally what me and my brother do, and we try to find a toy that can match up with like a junker that you can practically crash or whatever, and match it with a toy. I love that. That's low budget filmmaking to the core. I just love what you guys are doing. Super inspiring, and I wish I could talk to you guys all day. Or maybe I just come over there with you guys.
Do it. Do it.
So what's the plans now? Like, so you've got a little bit of funding now to kind of build a bigger thing. What is there, a big main project? I heard, what's this Ebola project? Is that the big main thing right now, or is it gonna? Are you trying to do a few flicks at the same time? What's next?
Well, we're thinking we're finishing up maybe 3, if not 4 films, and getting them ready maybe for the fall, hopefully, and to maybe release all at once. And it's because, you know, we have Alex, but, you know, you say that you came to this story late, and like, no, it hasn't begun yet. I'm telling you, when we drop, you know, one of Isaac's horror films at the same time as child kung fu stars, at the same time as like the one with me where I became this action star and things. When we drop those at the same time, that's gonna cause something.
Yeah. So totally.
So on the one hand, we're getting ready for that, but yes, I mean, the next big film is the Ebola.
Ebola.
That's great. I noticed on the that Vice article, actually, Alan, was you were mentioning that some of your friends have kind of give you a little bit of flack for kind of promoting the kind of like the violence of the country. And I loved your answer. I liked your response to that. You're creating art out of this, and it's not about, like you were saying, it's not just because it's about, like the country's like history and stuff. You don't have to. Why do you have to just make films about that? Why not kind of? It's kind of like I don't if you like action movies, Isaac loves making action movies, and so why not make action movies that have a little bit of violence in it? It's not. You're not promoting that. I liked your answer to it, and I'm not making it nearly as articulate as you did, but.
No, but the challenge in the beginning, and when I say beginning, I mean like the first 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
The challenge was people had this idea of what we were and didn't know what we were.
Yeah.
And it's easy to when someone says, "Hey, we're having machine guns and blowing things up in Africa," people to say, "What? You're crazy." But I think, once you see Isaac's art, once you see it,
and I tell you, whenever there's a grandfather of mine, whenever he calls me, and I tell him that I'm shooting, I'm in a shooting, and one day he came here and said, "Are you shooting people, you guy? Are you shooting? What do you mean by shooting? Do you have a gun?" So I tell him, "Oh, this camera, I'm using this camera to shoot." So it's like that. Some people don't understand my. So it's like that, I think. But he's understanding now.
Yeah.
And I think, yes, because especially the old people think that they can think of violence. But the generation before me, after me, is not thinking that way. And we are not, we are not the other, as we are known for Idi Amin. It's not Idi Amin nowadays. We are in sort of a global village. We know what is taking place in Hollywood. The first day it is there, it is done there. Like Furious 7 is already here. This already may be piloted, I don't know. But everyone knows Furious 7 now. So
and Road Warrior.
And Road Warrior. I think so. I don't think that way. That is backwardness. If someone thinks that way,
yeah.
No. We have to open their eyes to tell them that no, it's not that.
Absolutely, totally.
I think you see it. When you're looking at Alex, you're laughing. It's not whatever you see. Violence, true violence makes you sick to your stomach.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you see it in real life or in a film. If there's real violence in a movie, it makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's not this.
No.
Not at all.
No, I totally agree. I love what you guys are doing. I can't be. I'm trying to catch up. I want to be super duper fan.
Yeah.
You guys.
We'll send you. We could send you. Unofficially, we can send you some clips from the upcoming stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I do effects works and stuff. I don't want to just promote my stuff, but I'd love to help out in any way. I'd love to blow up some helicopters for you.
We'd kill you.
Yeah.
It's a mutual exchange.
Yeah.
It's.
I love your little shop you have. Like you're making like wooden bullets and stuff. Like it. When I saw those clips, I just had to. I watch all your stuff and I just have a permanent smile. And your buddy there who makes the wooden bullets and that awesome machine gun thing out of like.
It's right here. Actually.
Yeah,
it's right here, man.
That's
I'll
so
show
cool.
you. Yeah, this is Dauda. You have a fan here. This is Jamie in Canada.
Hey, hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, hi.
I love your work.
Thank you.
What are you building now, Dauda?
Yeah, what are you building?
Done.
You building a gun?
Yeah.
This is a gun?
Yeah.
This right here. I hope you can see it.
It's a big gun. It's like a two-manner. Two people on
It's a
that.
two people, man.
Yeah, two people.
One people. What about you?
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, it's cool, huh?
It's awesome. I love what you're doing. Keep it up.
Man.
Do you want to show them?
Inspiring.
I don't know. I don't think it's the light is can.
No, there's no light.
Yeah. Maybe can put a light.
Let's see something. Okay. See if this is the workshop. I'm bringing you in. Oh, this is I don't know if you can see this. It's a John Woo poster.
That's awesome. So cool.
And let's see. So this light, which is hard to see, but Dowda built this actually. He built the cage.
That's awesome.
So there's a gun.
What about that one? No. Here. You see?
That's badass. That's so cool.
Wow.
So neat.
You see?
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
That's so neat.
Yeah. Dowda, what is this?
This house.
Is it to destroy?
Yes.
That's to destroy.
Yeah.
All right, you see in this?
A miniature house. Like,
Yeah.
you need to find the matching house, like the real size now.
We have it. It's based on. It'll be based on.
That's awesome.
And this is just show you around here. This is
Oh, Mom, good.
I'll show you just a little. So this is this way. So everything is shot here, completely,
That's so cool.
more or less. It's Isaac's home, and it's really, and I live there. One of those doors. That's really the whole studio.
It's pretty neat. So I'm sure there's a lot, like, with your story, Alan, like how you like you just kind of up and went. Like, was that, did you have, how did that like affect your family, or
Well,
just how did that all work out?
Well,
I mean,
it's tough, frankly. I mean, it's not for me. I mean, but my parents are older. They're in their 80s and things, and they're alone in New York and stuff. But you just have to do it. You just have to do it. I think. And then we see what happens.
Yeah. So it just called you, and
Yeah, and it's yeah, and it seemed to be a combination of many things. Meaning, I was always in love with film, but I loved all parts of films. Like I was a P for a while, and then I was a sound mixer and an art director, and then I really liked festivals, like curating. And so when I saw Isaac's work, I understood it, and then also I understood, I think, how to best share it. So it seems like my life leading to this, it was all little parts that came to here.
Yeah.
Thankfully. But I tell you, I thought, I think the truth is, like, I bought the ticket, I think, like the next day, and then the day after that I returned it, because that's crazy to go. But then the day after that I bought it again, and I had to pay more money. But I thought not coming would be a regret, and in a way it would be crazier not to come in some strange way. But that's yeah.
Yeah, that's just I mean,
We should come.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's one of those things. It's just, sometimes it's just, you have that, something you have to do. And I think, especially in our culture on this side, it's this kind of the safe way. And, safe's always better, but it's not. I mean, sometimes you got to take that leap of faith, right?
Yeah, and then somewhere in, for me anyway, in America, film stopped becoming fun.
Yeah.
It just and it was very, very serious, and it's always trying to leverage one film to make the next one and improve. Like when you're here, and you're working with Isaac, you feel like a kid. It's like, like again, I'm in the, I became an actor with him in a couple of the movies, but I'm not an actor. Like I never really had those ambitions. But when you're here, you just want to play. You want to be part of it.
Yeah.
And he makes you feel that you can do anything.
Yeah, I think one thing I noticed. Yeah, it was like it's like playing in your backyard with your brother. Or, I mean, me and my brother. Just that's all we did was just shot little movies and stuff. And I think when you get older, you kind of think of like, oh well, how do you make this into a career? How do you make money with it? And it just becomes this kind of stale thing, and it just doesn't. You kind of lose track of what you truly got into it for, and it's not to make money, and it's to tell stories and tell compelling anything. Just getting out there and doing it.
And to be part of something that's kind of like bigger than yourself,
Yeah,
part of something that's growing.
And is that the future of Ramon Film? Is it Isaac's kind of the sole director right now? So I've heard, but is that? I mean, I heard his dream is to kind of get people involved, that kids who want to make movies. But I mean, he's going to be known like. I mean, I'm sure he's known like as this now, but as somebody who really is trying to help his people and getting them into film. Like, who would even have thought? Like, these kids, some of them probably wouldn't even known what movies or how movies are made, and now Isaac is pioneering that, and that's I think that's huge. You're creating a this is beyond a movement. It's a whole nother. It's changing people's lives, and I think that's all people trying to get into film and stuff should be striving for. I don't know. That's just kind of my thoughts. Me rambling.
No, and also like what's, the reaction, we've gotten such a very strong positive reaction, from around the world, and some people are asking like, who's our publicist? Like who do we hire to do? And it's just us, man. But yeah. But what it is people are responding to it. Like you just called, and wrote it's something this attracted you and you wanted to know more. That's what's happening, and it's happening globally, man. Like, I've got a screening in China in a couple of weeks in Shanghai. We had one in Sweden last night.
Yeah, I noticed that.
It's crazy, and but what it's coming from like the ground up. It's coming from fans, and then up, because I'm telling you, the first 3 years, Alex was rejected from like, name the festival, and it was rejected.
Yeah. But
not just in the U.S., but like Japan, rejected it. There's even a festival that focuses on poverty, that focuses on films from third world and poverty-stricken, regions. And I submitted to that to see what they say, and they wanted nothing to do with it. And what they thought was that this was a scam. They thought that they wanted to know how much Isaac makes, for how much does he charge for doing an interview like this. That's what they wanted to know.
Oh, really?
And then that's it, and I didn't understand, but that's what they thought. It was a joke.
Huh. That's.
And so at that point, we're like, let's just put the film out. Let's just make it free, because it's not going to go through the convention. It's not going to happen through the conventional sense.
Yeah.
Convention.
Well, I think definitely with this, with your approach, this is a kind of directly you're the ground swelling. It's not going to be distributed and stuff like the old way. This is the new way of doing things.
I think so.
No, I'll let you guys go. This has been great, and it's it's weird how this has changed me. It's changed me as a filmmaker, it really has, and I can't wait to just see what you guys do next, and I would absolutely love to be a part of it. And I'll keep in touch, but I'll let you guys go, and just keep on rocking. Just you guys,
thank you.
You're a part of something, and
well, you are too, man.
You are something. You're not a part of something. You are something. So that's
you're part of this, man. I'm telling you, it hasn't. This is the beginning. This is why Isaac said it's the beginning of the beginning.
The beginning of the beginning. Yeah. This is the first act, right?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Well, I'll let you guys go. I'll be waiting for your next flicks for sure.
Done.
See you later, man.
See you.
See you, Isaac.
Bye. Bye.
Thanks again, guys, for listening to this. I am super inspired by Ramon Film Productions. Isaac and Allan are just two of the awesomest film guys out there. I can't even explain how awesome they are. I just found them very recently. There was a Vice, I mentioned it in the interview, there was a Vice article video done, and it's blown up. A lot of their stuff is just huge online. Some of their trailers have multiple millions of views. I mean, they're phenoms. And I love how I mentioned that I was late to the game, but they're saying that this is just the beginning of the beginning. And I love that. I can't wait to see what they do next. And I couldn't imagine the sacrifices Allan's had to do and Isaac. But I mean, just coming from our comfortable lifestyle here on the Western Hemisphere in North America and just packing your bags and living in Uganda, it's truly inspiring. It's just amazing. And I use those words a lot, but this is one of those truly amazing stories that I cannot wait to see where it goes. So you can follow them at Wakaliwood.com, which is WAKALI Wood. See you next time on the Adventures in Backyard Filmmaking podcast. You guys are awesome. Thanks a lot.